Hello, radio listeners. Welcome to WCGO 1590 AM or 95.9 FM. We have a new conservative show on the airwaves, and it's called Pat and Wally's Conservative Talk. I'm your co-host, Pat Gibbons. That being said, I'm going to pass the mic on to my friend and co-host, Wally. Hey, Wally, what do you hear? What do you say?
Hey, how's everyone doing today? We're just going to talk about the future, about Chicago crime and the veterans in Chicago.
Tune in Mondays and Tuesdays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Conservative Talk Radio with Pat and Wally. Should be a great show. We look forward to your engagement. We'll be talking about safety issues in the city of Chicago, how our veterans need help and assistance, better needed care. And also, too, very importantly, we are going to talk about the Chicago mayor that needs to be called out. I'm Pat.
I'm Wally.
And this is Pat and Wally's Conservative Talk. Tune in to Pat and Wally's Conservative Talk on Mondays and Tuesdays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. starting June 5th.
The views and opinions in the following show do not necessarily reflect that of this station or its ownership.
Welcome to Pat, Wally, and Al's Conservative Talk on WCGO 1590 AM or 95.9 FM. I have a great show for all of you today. I'm with my co-host and best friend, Wally. Hey, Wally, what do you hear? What do you say?
Hello, Chicago.
It's going to be a great show today. We would love to have some callers. Our phone number is 877-711-5611. Again, it's 877-711-5611. Thank you for joining us today. Before I get to our show and our great guest today, I want to make an announcement. Grace Christian Academy in Elgin is hosting a Brave Story Hour on Thursday, August the 10th at 6:30 p.m. This is more than your average story hour. This is part of a nationwide event called See You at the Library. Brave Books and one of their authors, Kirk Cameron, started the Story Hour movement back in December of 2022 to fight for more wholesome content in public institutions. The events brought messages of hope, biblical wisdom, and patriotism to each community Kirk and the Brave team visited. We hope to grow this event to be similar to See You at the Pole in an effort to reinforce our nation's roots in Christianity. That should be a great event. Wally, do you have something for the crowd to hear today?
Yes. There's a special meeting today downtown at 121 North LaSalle, meeting about Chicago Commission landmarks. But the St. Albert's Church needs to stay open as a landmark. The Cupid that has nothing to say. He needs to step down. So he's calling the Polish folks, they don't care about the church. That's nonsense. He needs to step down. Kupich, step down. He's closing a lot of churches in Chicagoland area. He needs to go. Pack your bags and hit the road.
I certainly agree with that, and it's a shame. Over 60 Catholic churches have closed down, Walter, in Chicago within the last few years. It's a shame. See, our liberal society, they want to close down the churches. They want to kick God out, and they're pro-criminal more than ever before. This past weekend, we've had 27 shot, 7 killed. I will repeat these numbers. 27 shot, 7 killed. We had an 8-year-old child in Portage Park that was shot and dead. Our condolences. Me, Walter, and WCGO goes out to the family. This is a shame. The crime in Chicago is outrageous. It's out of hand. Our brave police officers can only do so much. Their hands are tied behind their back. And they're ostracized. They're put down left and right. It's a shame what they have to go through. They have to go through a lot. Yes. And at this point, the governor of Illinois is simply making fun of our brave police officers by allowing non-citizens to apply to be a police officer. I kid you not. This past weekend, I went to 25th Police District. And I had to do a police report for myself. I had a death threat. I kid you not, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to hear this very carefully. I, Patrick Gibbons, had a death threat. All right? And it was from a phone number from a good friend in Frank Coconati. I kid you not. The phone number was the same phone number as Frank Coconati, and I went to 25th Police District to make a police report because I'm not going to allow to be intimidated by anybody. All right? Now, I'm not saying that I'm haunted by the ghosts of Frank Coconati. After all, me and Frank Coconati were very good friends. We went back. I helped him in his campaign on 9th District, Cook County Commissioner. I mean, why would he come beyond the grave and do anything to me? I mean, after all, it's silly. I'm telling you. Me and Frank are good pals. Never do anything bad to Frank Coconati, and I hope he is in a good place. I'm sure he is in a good place.
Yes, he is.
And God bless him, and we sincerely hope that the family is getting over the death of Frank Coconati. But I want everyone to hear this voicemail I received on August the 1st at 10:35 p.m. that sounds like the man we just talked about. Go ahead, Mr. Green.
You're done. You are done. You with the wrong people. You are done. I'm watching you all day. Patrick. You're done. You with my uncle. You are done.
That, ladies and gentlemen, came from his phone number on August the 1st. He died on June 24th. As we all know, if we called Verizon, T-Mobile, Boost Mobile, even after your phone is deactivated, it takes about 3 months for your phone number to go into a pool of numbers in order for someone else to get that phone number. I mean, that's just common sense. Talk to your carrier, okay? Even let's say it was some sort of prank. Who in the world would go that far to intimidate me? Because I got to tell you, I would go this far to expose you. You intimidated the wrong person. And now over 300,000 people knows you gave me a death threat on Frank Coconati's phone number. Shame on you. That's a disgrace, and that's a slap in the face to a very good man. You should be ashamed of yourself. And I did a police report, Wally. I did. And as I was at 25th Police District, I got to tell you something. The 25th Police District, they do a wonderful job. All police officers in particular, they do a great job. Our very own Amy Kessam from the 41st Ward, a police sergeant, a wonderful person, a beautiful person. She has more guts in her little pinky than 10 burly men because she speaks out to be a conservative. I didn't mean to put you on radio, Amy, but you are a very good person. I appreciate you, what you do for the Republican Party. When I was at the 25th Police District, Wally, I seen, in my opinion, illegals. I don't care what anybody says. They can call them migrants. I call them illegals. They were laying on the floor. They had their feet up in the air. It looked like a YMCA. I kid you not. There was nowhere to sit. What has happened to our country? It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And now the governor signed a bill where in 2 weeks, maybe even a month, those same folks that are sleeping on the floor in the 25th Police District can be police officers. Are you kidding me?
There also could be cartel members as police officers.
This is simply ridiculous. And where's the people that was hired at the police council board for the 25th Police District? I call them Mo, Larry, and Curly. I don't know their real names. Most people don't. They were elected, all right? Edgar Esparza and Mr. Periabasi will be a guest next week on the show, a good guy, are more pro-police than these three bozos. And our next guest today, Larry, will talk about these bozos in detail because he has a lot of experience with CAPS meetings. Larry, thank you for being on the show. What do you hear? What do you say?
Hi, I'm Larry Nazimek. I'm a beat facilitator at Beat 2524 in the 25th District. And with this police district councils, yeah, I know who the people are. They won't hold their meetings at the police station. They hold them always off-site, always. And as far as their meetings are concerned, they're holding them on the same date as CAPS Beat meetings. The next one coincides with my Beat meeting. Different place, of course, but same date. So they're competing with the Beat meetings. And when it comes to the District Advisory Council meetings, I go to all of them. I haven't seen them.
And let's talk about.
And when it came to electing, even among the Beat facilitators, the first that a lot of us found out about these police district council things, we get when we looked at our ballot. Right. It was people had to vote for people who they never heard of for an office they never heard of.
Right. Let's talk about a little bit about your background, Larry. You were with the 35th District under Mr. Walter Zarnecki. You were a deputy committeeman for many years. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
For the Republican Party, right?
That's right.
Naturally, because you wouldn't be on the show if you weren't a Republican. Just joking. That was a joke.
Yeah.
We've had Democrats on this show before, but you're one of the best. You were highly recommended by Lynn Franco. You know Ms. Franco, of course.
Yes, I write articles for her newsletter.
Very good. Very good.
Nice.
And going back to Mo, Larry, and Curly, who's on the police council for 25th Police District, they never show up for the meetings, correct?
That's what I said, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know their names offhand. Oh, no. They're worth even saying their names.
Like,
Jacob Arena, Saul Arellano, and Angelica Green. She's she's pro-police, but I don't know so much about the other two.
Okay. And they only get like $500 a month, but it's the calling. You're supposed to be there for police officers. You're on that board to represent the people of the 25th Police District. Isn't that correct?
That's right.
Right.
And the thing is, the people in my beat, okay, they know who I am because I'm the beat facilitator, and anytime some news comes out from the police, they give it to me, and I spam it out to people. I got about 50 people on my spam list. But the thing is, they don't know who these police district council people are. And the crime that occurs, what occurs on my beat may be different from one of the other beats on the west side of the district. So we don't need to fight crime on the basis of the whole district. We need to fight on the basis of the beats.
Mm-hmm. And very quickly, what is the council? What do they do? I mean, what is their job description?
That's a good question. It seems that they're talking about holding the police accountable, and they're more interested, it seems, in holding the police accountable than holding the criminals accountable.
Right.
Sure, they say that they want what can the police do to protect us? What can we do to cut down on crime? But the thing is, take the handcuffs off the police and put them on the criminals.
Right. So let's get this straight. This was a liberal-minded idea to handcuff police officers, essentially, this police council board.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. They should get rid of that. And the new mayor that has some guts and conservative values should get rid of this police council board too, Wally.
Oh, yeah.
needs to go.
As far as I'm concerned, I live a few blocks from Lori Lightfoot, and I know how there were so many police cruisers giving her the protection. Now there aren't as many as there were before, but they still got a few out there. Well, maybe for Brandon Johnson, since we have such a shortage of police officers on the streets and there's so much crime, maybe we could take away some of those from his security detail and replace them with maybe social workers.
There you go. Well, he's in the Austin neighborhood, correct?
Yes.
I don't know where he lives.
The mayor lives in the 29th
right.
ward. In Austin district.
You would think they would deter the crime in the Austin neighborhood since it's one of the worst neighborhoods in Chicago. Instead, they figure...
The aldermen are embedded with the criminals.
Right. These politicians figured that, hey, we're more important. Forget the people.
There's too much money like involved in politics.
Right. Horrible. So, how long have you been involved with the Republican Party, my friend?
It's hard to say. Quite a few years. When you get to be my age, you don't really think in terms of how many years you've been doing stuff. But I've been conservative, I guess, all my life. Write a lot of letters to the editor that actually get published. I know when you're in a small town, it's real easy to get published. In a big city, you got a lot of people submitting letters to the editor.
Right.
But somehow or other, I've had some pretty good luck.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Sounds like you're very well read. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to commercial break real soon, so then I suppose we'll talk more about your time with Mr. Zarnecki. Zarnecki is a good friend of mine. I like him. So, That being said, thank you for listening so far. We have more juicy gossip on the best conservative talk show in Chicago, in my opinion, Pat, Wally, and Al's Conservative Talk on CGO 1590 AM. Thank you.
Chicago.
Producing your own podcast can be frustrating.
Test 1, 2.
Which is why I'm glad to be introducing the brand new multi-format network. We offer digital media, podcasting, and radio broadcasting professional standard production and syndication. Whether you're looking to bolster and polish your business presentations for a Zoom interview, host your podcast, or push your nationally syndicated radio broadcast to a satellite, we can facilitate your every need. So when you're ready to look, sound, and be professional, don't just try to do it yourself. Contact the professionals at the new multi-format network, the Multi-Format Network. From professional syndication to personal vindication, we've got your back. Shoot us an email, mfngeneralmanager@gmail.com. mfngeneralmanager@gmail.com.
Hello, radio listeners. Welcome to WCGO 1590 AM or 95.9 FM. We have a new conservative show on the airwaves, and it's called Pat and Wally's Conservative Talk. I'm your co-host, Pat Gibbons. That being said, I'm going to pass the mic on to my friend and co-host, Wally. Hey, Wally, what do you hear? What do you say?
Hey, how's everyone doing today? We're just going to talk about the future, about Chicago crime and the veterans in Chicago.
Tune in Mondays and Tuesdays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Conservative Talk Radio with Pat and Wally. Should be a great show. We look forward to your engagement. We'll be talking about safety issues in the city of Chicago, how our veterans need help and assistance, better needed care. And also, too, very importantly, we are going to talk about the Chicago mayor that needs to be called out. I'm Pat.
I'm Wally.
And this is Pat and Wally's Conservative Talk. Tune in to Pat and Wally's Conservative Talk on Mondays and Tuesdays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. starting June 5th.
It is estimated that 1.5 million people are arrested for DUI every year in the United States. In Illinois alone, over 30,000 motorists are arrested for DUI. Driving under the influence of alcohol, marijuana, or drugs is one of the most complex of traffic charges on the books. Most people do not understand the complexities of the standardized field sobriety tests, which are horizontal gaze nystagmus, the walk and turn, and the one-leg stand test. Due to improper testing procedures, many people are wrongfully charged with DUI. Whether you have been charged with a DUI or an attorney handling DUI cases, the book DUIs Decoded explains the proper procedures for standardized field sobriety testing, breathalyzer testing, and the penalties in Illinois for driving under the influence.
Real estate, be it residential or commercial, is often a person's most significant and priciest asset. Entering into a contract to buy or sell a real estate property is much more than just filling in the missing blanks on the printed contract. It's wise to hire a lawyer to prepare or review the offer to purchase real estate and take full advantage of his legal expertise. With Mark Sheblo, you will gain an attorney with over 26 years of legal practice and one who has helped thousands of clients to buy or sell their homes or investment property. We will safeguard your interests and might be able to even negotiate a better bargain than a client without proper legal counsel ever could. Oftentimes, a prospective buyer will submit an offer without first consulting an attorney, not realizing that once the offer is accepted by the seller, it becomes a binding contract, and the terms of that contract are not easy to be changed afterwards. Likewise, as a seller, you too will benefit from first consulting an attorney before signing. Feel free to call us for consultation at the law offices of Mark Sheblo at 773-775-5050. Our website is sheblolawoffice.com. Mark Sheblo can be reached 6 days a week at 773-775-5050, Monday through Saturday, located at 5945 North Elston Avenue in Chicago. That's attorney Mark Sheblo, 773-775-5050.
On the Pat, Wally, and L's Conservative Talk on WCGO 1590 AM or 95.9 FM. We would like to have some callers today. Our phone number is 877-711-5611. Again, it's 877-711-5611. We're back with our guest, Larry Nazimek. But before we get to our guest, I want to announce something that's very important. Grace Christian Academy in Elgin is hosting a Brave Story Hour on Thursday, August the 10th at 6:30 p.m. This is more than your average story hour. This is part of a nationwide event called See You at the Library. Brave Books and one of their authors, Kirk Cameron, started the Story Hour movement back in December of 2022 to fight for more wholesome content in public institutions. The events brought messages of hope, biblical wisdom, and patriotism to each community Kirk and the Brave team visited. We hope to grow this event to be similar to See You at the Pole in an effort to reinforce our nation's roots in Christianity. I got to tell you, Wally, this is a great movement. This is a beautiful movement.
Beautiful.
Yes, there should be more Christianity involved with storytelling with the children. Right now, what's going on in public schools is a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. The gender ideology concept is, to me, it's evil. It's downright evil.
The devil's work.
That's right.
We have a caller.
We do.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Do you have a name?
Uncle?
Uncle?
Little man.
Uncle who?
Hey, this is Uncle Joe calling from Elmwood Park.
Oh, Uncle Joe.
Uncle Joe.
Everybody knows Uncle Joe from Elmwood Park. Okay. Hey, Uncle Joe, what do you hear? What do you say? Thank you for being on Pat, Wally, and Al's Conservative Talk.
Yeah, of course. Great show, guys. I really like what you're doing. I like your conservative values, your Christian values.
Thank you.
It is evil what's going on in these public schools, but I want to change the topic a little bit.
Okay.
About the immigration. I had an epiphany when I was reading the paper this morning online. They're running out of room in New York. They're running out of room in Chicago. They're putting them in Chicago public schools. They're putting them in park houses. I was thinking, shouldn't we be sending them to their home embassies? And, we got a Mexican embassy in Chicago. We got a Guatemalan embassy in Chicago.
There you go.
Why are we not sending them there? And why are they not taking them in? Those are their people.
Absolutely. Or better yet, we should ask the liberal politicians to open their doors for these illegals, too. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, take them home with them, cook them a dinner.
Right, since they want to...
Yeah, but the embassies, instead of putting them in Chicago or government-run buildings, why don't we put them in their embassies?
Right.
And cancel foreign aid from all the countries, from all the people that are coming here illegally. It's getting ridiculous. California is going bankrupt, and New York is going bankrupt. Chicago is bankrupt. It's in ruins, and this is all Democratic policies. So I just wanted to spread the word, and hopefully you guys keep the movement up and keep talking about it, because with no one talking about it, nobody's really upset about it.
Right, Uncle Joe, we're going to keep talking about it. What are you going to say, Wally?
In Florida, there's an outbreak, leprosy.
They're having outbreaks of leprosy. It's ridiculous. That's where it's coming from. They're coming in. They're unvaccinated. They're
Right.
It's just
Smallpox,
terrible.
like
But
in
hey, great
Chicago.
show, guys. I got to get back to work.
All right, thank
Wally,
you.
I seen you on Belmont Avenue the other day. If I see you again, I'll buy you a beer, and we'll have a Bud Light together. You guys take care.
No
I'll talk
Bud
to you later.
Lights. No Bud Lights.
Yeah, forget Bud
No
Light.
Bud Light. All right, Wally.
I'm a Heineken guy myself, just saying. Yeah.
Some Jameson.
Bye,
Some
guys.
Jameson.
Take care, Uncle Joe. Bye. Thank you for calling. That was Uncle Joe from Elmwood Park. Everybody knows Uncle Joe. Good guy.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, so getting back to this situation, what's going on with the 25th Police District, like I said, our brave police officers are against the wall with this stupid democratic policies that's going on left and right. Our brave police officers are ostracized, put down, looked under a microscope, and now non-citizens can be police officers, according to our brilliant governor. This is absolute ridiculousness, okay? And I feel that there should be something done. Larry, what do you think about this?
Totally agree with you. You're right on the mark.
Yeah. Absolute ridiculousness. Well, going from one ridiculous topic to another ridiculous topic, let's talk about a little about dental insurance. Larry, what do you know about that?
Well, the thing is, I'm a veteran. I get my health care at the VA hospitals.
Okay.
And one thing that they don't provide is dental care. They provide all different specialties. And the thing is, dental care, everybody needs dental care. Not everybody needs dermatology or oncology. A lot of people do. Not everybody needs abortion. Not everybody needs gender reassignment surgery, you know. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to dental care, only about 15% of the enrolled veterans are eligible. You have to either be a former prisoner of war, 100% disabled, suffering from some like wound that you had in the mouth due to your service, and a few other very restrictive categories, but only 15% get it. Mm. And we've been trying for quite a few years to get it. Carol Shea Porter, Congressman Carol Shea Porter of New Hampshire, some years ago introduced it, a bill in the House, and Randy Hulkin was one of the first co-sponsors of it. He was interviewed on Channel 32 about it, so he was a good guy, but of course he lost to Lauren Underwood. And now, she retired, Carol Shea Porter retired, and so we've got Congresswoman from California who's been introducing it, Julia Brownley. And we just don't get enough co-sponsors, and dental care should not be a partisan issue, but for some odd reason, we've not been getting the support from the Republicans. I can tell you there's no R or D on the dog tags, but then there's, the question of cost. Sure, it's going to cost money, but we're going to get it back. The American Institute for Dental Public Health shows that poor dental care is related to many other diseases, kidneys, heart, and even cancer, Alzheimer's, and believe it or not, even COVID-19. Mm-hmm. And I've got some of their statistics here. Among Illinois veterans, 21.2% got diabetes, compared to the national population of 12.1%, or for a national adult working age, 9%. Heart disease, Illinois veterans, 12.2%, national average, or national population, 6.5%, among national working age, 3.6%. They show that veterans are suffering from poor dental care a lot more than the rest of the population. And we need co-sponsors now for H.R. 2413. You see, every time they have a new Congress, the bill got to be reintroduced, got to get co-sponsors. So right now we're working on it. Right now we only got 8. 7 of them are from Illinois.
Wow. This is a big topic. This is a huge topic. I am a United States Postal Worker. I'm a federal worker, and supposedly I have the best of the best dental insurance, okay? Just last week, to get a deep cleaning, okay, it was like $3,000, $1,200 out of my insurance, and now I have to pay another $1,800. And it's not like, no worries, Mr. Gibbons, we'll bill you that. No, they want the $1,800 right then and there. They don't care about payment plans. This is a total sham. It's the dental insurance. How can anybody? Well, God help you if you have some infection that's going into your brain. They won't care. They simply do not care. These dental places, because at the end of the day, they're thinking, "Oh, we're not going to get paid." And we were talking about illegals. I feel, and a lot of people agree with me, our veterans should be taken care of first. okay? They should get 100% free health care. They should get 100% free dental care. And the fact that any veteran that's suffering with a toothache and they can be able to pay for it, I feel it's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
That's a crime to me.
Yeah.
That they will take care of illegals over veterans, and you see it all the time.
That's
yeah. And there's the community care program. It's a Cook County program, like a Medicaid program, and to qualify, you have your financial constraints, low income, and you must be a resident of Cook County to qualify. Resident just means you live here. You don't have to be in the country legally, just as long as you reside here. They qualify for it, and they're going to get some dental care. I know by Hanson Park, they opened up a really nice state-of-the-art facility a couple of years ago. They got dental offices. I don't know just if they're staffed yet, but I know that they do have the provision there for dental care.
Right. And before the show, Larry, weren't you talking about some sort of bill that the Republicans could have passed, but they didn't? They dropped the ball on?
I've been talking about this one's H.R. 24. Before that, in the previous Congress, the 117th Congress, it was H.R. 914, and the Congress before that it was H.R. 96. And we're just not getting the co-sponsors from the Republicans.
That's a shame. Because the Republicans...
And the thing is, when we tried to contact the D.C. offices of the various congressmen, and now Mike Bost, he was a Marine, so is his son, and he's now in charge of, Republicans are the majority party in the House, so he's in charge of the Veterans Affairs Committee. And I know in the previous about a year and a half ago, I was talking to his office. Well, there was one staffer there. Writing to him was like when a kid in December writes letters to Santa Claus, not getting a response. Well, then, anyway, I was in touch with another guy, and he said, well, let me see what the congressman has to say. It's going to cost too much. Well, like I said before, for every dollar they spend on whatever they spend on dental care, they're going to get $1 back from what they don't have to spend on kidneys, and $2 back on what they don't have to spend on heart disease. But even so, even if that wasn't the case, saying that it costs too much is like saying we're not worth it.
Right. And I just want to say,
it was important when we were in uniform, and Uncle Sam needed us to be in top physical condition in order to perform our jobs. But now that we performed our jobs, well, now it's not so much important.
It's a shame. The Republican Party, and it's okay to talk about the party that you love because you want to tell the audience, the voters, why so many people are turned off by the Republican Party, and it's about the health care insurance issue and the dental insurance issue. These are the two. That's 1 and 2, okay, insurance issues. Democratic Party is all about that, about insurance. In fact, Bill Clinton wanted to have national health care. And I got to tell you, I don't care how it sounds, yes, there should be national health care. If the Republican Party would just step up to the plate and give health care insurance, specifically for our vets, too. They should be taken care of 100%. And dental care. We could win so many people. We can win so many voters. But they continuously drop the ball on this. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either.
I mean, it's such a simple concept. Give everybody health care. They do it in Europe. I know there's a long waiting list, but at least people are taken care of. They're not dying in the streets. There's so many homeless vets out there, too. And it's sad. It really is. You see them all the time on Cicero Avenue, on our viaducts, at the train station. It's just sad. So, would you agree? What kind of plan would you suggest, Larry, about national health care? Do you think that's a good plan, or do you believe also that vets should get 100% free health care? What's your idea on that?
Well, for among the VA, who should be 100% free health care, I have to make co-pays, believe it or not, and it's nothing that was going to break me or anything like that, but I do have to make co-pays. Not everybody has to. If you have a disability rating, you don't have to pay co-pays, and then if you don't have a disability rating, then it's a question of your income. And they had their means test. Wow, it's like being held upside down by the ankles and shaken. Well, I mean, they treat you almost like you're some sort of poverty pimp. how much do you have on this? And I remember one particular year for the means test, the guy says, well, what do you have for assets? And I gave him a number. He says, well, do you have stocks? I said, yeah, that's part of my asset. I gave it to you. Well, how much do you have in stocks? Okay, I gave him that. Well, do you have mutual funds? Yeah, I got mutual funds. Well, how much that? I said, well, I included that in stocks. Well, how much that? And he took all those little subsets and added them all together. And they says, oh, you're above the limit.
That's
and
really
I had
ridiculous.
to fight to get them to correct it. And they were saying, oh, you only get one means test a year.
Wow. We're going to talk more about this. Larry, hold on. We're going to talk more about this. We have another commercial break on Pat, Wally, and Al's Conservative Talk.
Producing your own podcast can be frustrating.
Test 1, 2.
Which is why I'm glad to be introducing the brand new multi-format network. We offer digital media, podcasting, and radio broadcasting professional standard production and syndication. Whether you're looking to bolster and polish your business presentations for a Zoom interview, host your podcast, or push your nationally syndicated radio broadcast to a satellite, we can facilitate your every need. So when you're ready to look, sound, and be professional, don't just try to do it yourself. Contact the professionals at the new multi-format network, the Multi-Format Network. From professional syndication to personal vindication, we've got your back. Shoot us an email, mfngeneralmanager@gmail.com. mfngeneralmanager@gmail.com.
Hello, radio listeners. Welcome to WCGO 1590 AM or 95.9 FM. We have a new conservative show on the airwaves, and it's called Pat and Wally's Conservative Talk. I'm your co-host, Pat Gibbons. That being said, I'm going to pass the mic on to my friend and co-host, Wally. Hey, Wally, what do you hear? What do you say?
Hey, how's everyone doing today? We're just going to talk about the future, about Chicago crime and the veterans in Chicago.
Tune in Mondays and Tuesdays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Conservative Talk Radio with Pat and Wally. Should be a great show. We look forward to your engagement. We'll be talking about safety issues in the city of Chicago, how our veterans need help and assistance, better needed care. And also, too, very importantly, we are going to talk about the Chicago mayor that needs to be called out. I'm Pat.
I'm Wally.
And this is Pat and Wally's Conservative Talk. Tune in to Pat and Wally's Conservative Talk on Mondays and Tuesdays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. starting June 5th.
It is estimated that 1.5 million people are arrested for DUI every year in the United States. In Illinois alone, over 30,000 motorists are arrested for DUI. Driving under the influence of alcohol, marijuana, or drugs is one of the most complex of traffic charges on the books. Most people do not understand the complexities of the standardized field sobriety tests, which are horizontal gaze nystagmus, the walk and turn, and the one-leg stand test. Due to improper testing procedures, many people are wrongfully charged with DUI. Whether you have been charged with a DUI or an attorney handling DUI cases, the book DUIs Decoded explains the proper procedures for standardized field sobriety testing, breathalyzer testing, and the penalties in Illinois for driving under the influence.
Real estate, be it residential or commercial, is often a person's most significant and priciest asset. Entering into a contract to buy or sell a real estate property is much more than just filling in the missing blanks on the printed contract. It's wise to hire a lawyer to prepare or review the offer to purchase real estate and take full advantage of his legal expertise. With Mark Sheblo, you will gain an attorney with over 26 years of legal practice and one who has helped thousands of clients to buy or sell their homes or investment property. We will safeguard your interests and might be able to even negotiate a better bargain than a client without proper legal counsel ever could. Oftentimes, a prospective buyer will submit an offer without first consulting an attorney, not realizing that once the offer is accepted by the seller, it becomes a binding contract, and the terms of that contract are not easy to be changed afterwards. Likewise, as a seller, you too will benefit from first consulting an attorney before signing. Feel free to call us for consultation at the law offices of Mark Sheblo at 773-775-5050. Our website is sheblolawoffice.com. Mark Sheblo can be reached 6 days a week at 773-775-5050, Monday through Saturday, located at 5945 North Elston Avenue in Chicago. That's attorney Mark Sheblo, 773-775-5050.
back on Pat, Wally, and Al's Conservative Talk on WCGO 1590 AM or 95.9 FM. We would love to have more callers. Today we had Uncle Joe from Elmwood Park. A big hello to Uncle Joe. Our number is 877-711-5611. Again, 877-711-5611. Big hellos to Mr. Jeffrey Fielder. We know you're listening to the show. Big fan, Jeffrey Fielder. We love Jeffrey Fielder. Don't we love Jeffrey Fielder?
Yes, we do.
Oh, I love Jeffrey Fielder. All right.
Hello, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff. Big hello to my mother, my beloved mother. I know you're listening. I love you, Mom. I've been good today, Mom. And a little bit of announcement here. Grace Christian Academy in Elgin is hosting a Brave Story Hour on Thursday, August the 10th at 6:30 p.m. This is more than your average story hour. This is part of a nationwide event called See You at the Library. Brave Books and one of their authors, Kurt Cameron, started the Story Hour movement back in December of 2022 to fight for more wholesome content in public institutions. The events brought messages of hope, biblical wisdom, and patriotism to each community Kirk and the Brave team visited. We hope to grow this event to be similar to See You at the Polls in an effort to reinforce our nation's roots, Christianity. Jennifer, I hope you're listening. I announced that 3 times for you. Again, our number is 877-711-5611. We're with our great guests. Larry, I want to say something for the record. My dad, great guy. He's a vet, too. He enlisted at the age of 17 in the United States Army. He became a sergeant at 19, very young age. And he was a medical corpsman. He was in Brooke Army Hospital in San Antonio. And then later on, he did 2 years in Germany. So that was from 67 to 69. And my dad, great guy, retired vet, retired security officer. He's 74 now. And he's on 3 different blood pressure medicines. The insurance he has, is like anyone else. At times, it's outrageous. The prescription drugs, it's like $600, $700 out of pocket after medical care, medical care, right?
Medicaid,
Medicare. After that, it's like $600, $700. It's simply unaffordable. And he's a veteran. And to me, that's tragic. Larry, that's tragic.
Yes. It's too bad that he didn't enroll in the VA. But the thing is, the VA's some years ago, they came up with a cutoff date. I don't remember what the date was. I think around 2003. And they said that you should, if you're eligible to enroll in the VA for health care, you better do it. Because if you don't do it by the deadline, what happens is that you got to have the means test, and if you are above the cutoff, you are not eligible for the VA health care. And so there are a lot of people, like my father. He says, "Oh, I got good pension. I got good benefits from my job and all that." So he didn't enroll prior to the deadline. Deadline was over. He lost some of his insurance stuff. He couldn't get in.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sure you have a similar situation with your father.
Right.
My father ended up dying of oral cancer, by the way.
Oh, I'm so sorry. My dad, from what I heard, he would have to get a whole new doctor, and he would have to take like all these battery of tests to see what he's doing, and then he would maybe get what he needs from the VA. That's horrible. It should be better care. Would you say the VA should give veterans better care, Larry?
Yes.
Oh, yes, definitely. The one thing that's really lacking, of course, is the dental care, because they care for other diseases, other problems. They say that all veterans deserve the best possible health care for the treatment and prevention of various diseases.
Right. It's a shame. And do you usually go to the VA yourself?
Oh, yes. Now, and please understand that not all the doctors are VA doctors. The minority of them are.
Okay.
They have doctors coming from, I go to the Chicago VA, so we get at our hospital doctors from the University of Illinois Hospital and Northwestern.
Okay. Interesting.
And the thing is, they'll have like like for the primary care doctors, and they have what they call a CBOC, community-based outpatient clinics, and they are what they call residents. So they are doctors, but they're not yet licensed by the state. They got to put in their 3-year residency before they can go out and be full-fledged doctors, where they can. Where they're state licensed. And then when it comes to the specialties, like for hematology, oncology, they are licensed doctors already, MDs, and then they're going for their specialty. So they got to go there for 3 years, which are called fellows. Okay. Some of the stuff that I've learned, and so they're good doctors. And in one case, they'll even get us a second opinion because they got a head doctor. They call him attending, and so the doctor who treats you, he then has to go over to this senior doctor, and it's like getting a second opinion right then and there on the spot.
Interesting. And
so I'm not complaining about the quality of the care, but one thing I can tell you is that those doctors will come from Northwestern or Illinois, they're only going to be working like half a day a week. And so that's the day when you got to have your care in that particular clinic. And with those co-pays, you only pay one co-pay per day. So it's to your advantage if you can get a couple appointments on the same day. Well, it'll save you a trip to the hospital. That's one thing, but also save you some money. Okay. But it's really, really hard to get a couple of appointments on the same day. For that reason, this doctor in that specialty, he's only going to be there on Monday mornings. The other doctor, he's only going to be there on Tuesday afternoons.
Wow. Sound like a circus.
Would you be there? Yeah. Would you be there the whole day with some of these tests?
It depends on what you're getting. I mean, colonoscopy is going to take a few hours, but normally your appointment might last like 20 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well,
it depends on what you're there for, really.
Okay.
But colonoscopy, that's going to take some time.
Sure. And you served in the Air Force, is that correct, Larry?
That's correct, yes.
Tell us a little bit about your military background.
Yeah, when I got in, they didn't need pilots. They had too many coming from Vietnam, and they needed navigators, so they were real tight on the eyes. I was borderline there, so if you're any more close to the borderline, you went to navigator school. Flying the T-29, which makes me I was one of the last, I guess about the last class that did not go into the Boeing 737, called the C-43. So it makes me an authority on World War II technology. Then after that, I was a backseat in the F-4 Phantom. Wow, was that a big difference? Mm-hmm. And for my first operational assignment there, my last choice was Okinawa, the 20 bases. That's where they sent me.
Oh, okay.
And you'd say I'm a Vietnam era vet. Yes, I am a Vietnam era vet, and they give me this pin, for Vietnam. Well, I've never been to Vietnam. When I just before I finished training, Saigon fell. So they can call me a Vietnam era veteran by virtue of the years I was in. But really, I associate more with Korea because that's what we were preparing to fight. And then in August of '76, they had 2 U.S. Army officers got accident death at Panmunjom Joint Security Area. I was deployed there, and at one point, we had to take turns sitting alert. If Gerald Ford would have given the word at the right time, I would have led the first attack into North Korea. And Father would have gotten the medal, had some other missions. We were cruising, patrolling the DMZ. So nobody ever shot at me. The North Koreans locked onto me on the radar, big deal. Nobody ever shot at me.
That's good.
And I ended up spending probably more time from my squadron in Okinawa than anybody else. Well, hey, he's a bachelor. The hell with him, screw him. But actually, it was nice to get away from all the square filling and do something realistic. And also, I got my bachelor's and master's in aerospace engineering, and so I was one of those. We were just getting the laser-guided bombs, so I was studying that, teaching it to the others. So we had to know about the bomb ballistics. I was pretty good at that, and also a mission planner for the special. No-notice, high-priority missions. So, that's why I ended up spending more time than the others in my squadron, but it was worth it.
Well, God bless you. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
It's awesome.
Thank you.
Did you do 3 years in the Air Force? How many years did you do?
Oh, no, more than that. You know, when you get wings, you got to pay them back with so many years.
Okay.
And so I pay them back, and then, you know, it's not, the Navs want to be pilots, really. And it's not really cost-effective to make a navigator pilot because he's older. He's already been trained a navigator, and then you got to train somebody else to take his place. And when you're in a backseat or an F4, they don't call you a navigator or a navigator's wings. You're called a weapons system officer. You don't do the traditional long-range navigation stuff that you would in a transporter bomber. Mm-hmm. Anyway, they know that the Navs want to be pilots, so that it's a highly competitive process. They do have a few slots, and you really got to compete for it, get letters of recommendation from the generals and colonels and that sort of thing, and jump through the hoops. I did. I got to go to pilot training eventually.
Nice.
And my last choice at a pilot training base was Del Rio, Texas.
Okay.
And so when we were flying T-37s, we were doing our practice touch and goes on this airstrip at Eagle Pass to the southeast. And on the way back, I'd be seeing all the illegals running through the fields.
Huh.
And after that, I was flying B-52s and T-38s. And I ended up in Grand Forks. That was the last straw. It's where I learned how warm Chicago winters are.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
So I bet being a pilot in a plane, it's like riding a bike to you. It's like nothing, right?
Well, you got to respect whatever you're flying.
Sure.
Even if it's a little thing, you got to respect it.
Okay.
Every plane is going to be, a little bit different. And when you get into like a large plane like a B-52, I mean, you see, you walked into it for the first time. Oh, all those buttons, switches, circuit breakers. Like going to Battlestar Galactica. But you get your training and you learn what you have to watch, what you have to do.
And when was the last time you flew a plane?
Actually, it was October.
October?
Yeah, I rent the small stuff just to remind myself I'm still a pilot, but pick people up. But the company I was with, they went out of business, and they acted like they're not going out of business. And I've been having some other things doing with my dental problems and home repairs and stuff. So I haven't really gotten into another company yet. But yeah, I haven't flown since October. I was in a simulator. I think it was in January.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, if you ever give lessons, I would love to.
No, I'm not an instructor. I never wanted to do that.
Okay.
that was for the most part. We have some dedicated instructors who've been instructing all their life, before military, whatever. But for the vast majority of instructors are younger guys who want to build up their flying time.
Very good. Sounds like a lot of fun. Very adventurous. Going out there and
it
is
flying on a plane,
Yeah, we've never lost one. Everyone that's taken off, it's come back to the ground.
Wow. Larry, I got to admit something to you, and I know there's people listening. I have a fear, a big phobia. It's planes. I've never been on a plane in my life in 40 years of life. I want to break that fear. I really do. What can a guy like me do with a big fear with planes? Knock myself out.
Go up.
Probably.
Yeah, go up. I know there's some airline pilot who has. I've seen on TV. I don't know the name of it, but I know he has a special thing for where he has like a class and talks to people about the planes and everything, and they take them up for a ride in an airliner around the city.
Okay.
But really, it's a question of like what's there to be afraid of. That's the thing, and it helps if you understand what's going on. The one thing I give passengers when they're flying, like for the first time, or maybe the first time in a small plane, they're accustomed to the airliners, the big stuff. I tell them that I give them a long briefing really, and tell them, there's, the most dangerous part is the ride to the airport, and tell them what to do if there's an emergency, that we brief emergencies, not because we expect it, because we have such a good safety record in aviation, because we are prepared for anything and everything.
Whoa.
We do our best to be prepared. And one thing, I says, when you're in a car, how you step on the gas when you're riding, going above, going up a hill,
Yeah.
and then when you're on the top of it going down, you take the foot off the gas.
Yeah.
Say, well, same thing when we're going for a descent.
Wow. Thank you for being on the show, Larry. Sounds like quite an adventure. Thank you for listening on Pat, Wally, and Al's Conservative Talk.
1590 AM, W240EH 95.9 FM, Evanston, Chicago.